The office clock ticked softly against the steady hum of air conditioning. Papers were neatly stacked on the desk. The faint scent of coffee lingered in the air. "Good afternoon, boss," Diep greeted warmly, stepping into the room with a mix of excitement and nervous pride. "I've completed everything exactly as you instructed. All the tasks you assigned, I've handled them all." "Today, I called you up to review the contract. The other side has accepted the terms." James leaned back in his chair, his expression softening. "That's good news." A moment later, his phone buzzed. "Hello? Yes, son. Handle that for me, and then report back afterward." His voice carried authority but warmth. "How's the paint company doing? Still running smoothly?" "Yes, still good, sir," came the reply. James nodded, glancing at Diep. "It's not a big operation, but she's managing it well." Diep smiled modestly. "It's true, it's not too large. But I can handle it." He looked at her directly. "And how are things at home? Any issues?" Her smile faltered for a moment. "You still haven't let go of that thought, have you? About our son, and me adopting the child." "I didn't forbid it," he said firmly. "But I can't accept the idea that he suddenly adopts someone else's child without knowing the truth." Diep took a deep breath, her tone calm but persuasive. "But isn't that a good thing? The little girl is so lovely." "You'll see when you meet her. She's gentle, bright, and full of life." James's brow furrowed. "Being lovely is one thing. But have you thought about who her real parents might be? What if she's Diep's daughter, with someone else?" The words landed heavy between them. Before Diep could reply, James's assistant entered with a file. "About the timber imports, sir, are we proceeding with the 3 billion Vietnamese dongs allocation?" "Yes," James replied, his voice clipped back to business. "Transfer the funds, but don't overcommit on the first order." "Take only 50% for the first batch. Let's say 20 tons first, then the remaining 30 later." "We'll evaluate quality before scaling up." "Understood," the assistant said, jotting notes rapidly. "Good," James continued. "Once the first shipment arrives, I want it checked thoroughly. And keep me updated on the machines and electrical systems. Are they all prepared?" "Yes, sir," the assistant nodded. "I even added a few extra water coolers to the factory fridge, second-hand, but functional." "Helps us cut costs." James smiled faintly. "Good thinking. What about the workers? Are they staying consistent?" "They are, sir. No one's taken leave lately. And the pay raise? I've already implemented it, as you advised." James leaned forward. Excellent. Also, in December, plan a company trip, something modest, 3 days, about 20 million VND total. One day to travel, one to stay, and one to return. Keep it concise but meaningful. Yes, sir. Should I allow employees to bring their families? Of course, he said. We'll cover 70% of the expenses, food, travel, and lodging included. For those with hardships, health issues, family illness, make a list. I'll personally provide additional support. The assistant nodded respectfully. You're a generous man, sir. James chuckled quietly. Generous? No, just fair. But when the assistant left, the silence between James and Diep thickened again. You still can't accept her, can you? She asked softly. James sighed. You know me. I've spent my whole life working so this family wouldn't struggle. I don't want our son marrying someone without education or background, someone who can't help him grow. Diep met his gaze, unflinching. You've given everything for your family, but maybe now it's time to give them freedom too. Times have changed. You can't hold on to the past forever. I've been open-minded, he snapped. I let you go back to Vietnam when you wanted, bought the house you wanted, the car too. What haven't I given? All my work, all my money, it's for you and for him. But if I had followed my heart, if I hadn't used logic, none of this would exist. I know, she said softly. You've built everything from nothing. But sometimes, living too tightly can make others suffocate. He fell quiet, eyes clouded with years of burden and pride. Meanwhile, across town, James Jr. was just finishing his shift. The sun was setting behind the hills as he spotted Diep standing at her small market stall, wiping her hands after selling the last of her oranges. Sold out already? He asked with a grin. She nodded. Every last one. Good, he said, taking the basket from her. Let me drive you home. They rode in silence for a while before he pulled over at a quiet hilltop. Below them stretched the small town, bathed in gold, the rooftops glimmering like something out of a storybook. Why did you bring me here? She asked, smiling. He looked out over the valley. Because from here, you can see everything, our home, our life, our beginnings. I wanted to remind you of how far we've come. The air grew still. Birds fluttered through the trees. There's something I've been meaning to say, he continued, his tone suddenly serious. It's not new, it's something I've tried twice before. Diep's heart skipped. You mean? Yes, he said, pulling a small velvet box from his pocket. Inside lay 2 silver rings glinting in the fading light. Her breath caught. Matching rings? He smiled. Yes. These are the same ones from before, the ones I never got to give you properly. This time, I'm not proposing. Not in the usual sense. I'm simply asking to exchange these, to promise each other that no matter what happens, we'll walk this path together. Her eyes shimmered with tears. As she slid the ring onto his hand, her voice trembled. When I put this on you, it feels like an invisible thread connects us, from my heart to yours. He chuckled softly. You always say things like poetry, because this moment feels like one, she said. I think I'm finally ready to be your wife. I'm sorry for saying no before. Twice. But this time, I won't refuse you again. James's throat tightened. You don't know how long I've waited to hear that. But maybe we should wait to have the ceremony. The company's just starting, and I don't want to add more chaos. I agree, she said gently. Let's wait until everything is stable. Love doesn't need to rush. He nodded. That's what I thought too. But I needed to give you the ring now, because I was afraid. Afraid we'd lose another chance, like before. Her hand found his. No, not this time. The past was hesitation. This time is certainty. Even if you asked me years from now, I'd still say yes. They sat there quietly, the sky deepening to violet, the town lights flickering to life below. And for the first time in years, there was no fear between them, only promise.